Hello guys, today we will be looking at the general math test number 3 from the year 2012-2013.
Question 1. Sum of 1997 and 2865. So the first number is 3 less than 2000. Let's assume that this is 2000. So let's assume that this is 2000. 2000 plus 2865 is 4865, and then we subtract 3. So this is 4862. So the correct answer is C. Question 2. What is 10,004 minus 956? So 10,004 minus 1000 is 9,004, and then we add back 44 and we get 9,048. So A is the answer. Question 3. What is 2 1/5 times 3 3/4? So 2 1/5 is 11 over 5. So this is 11 over 5 multiplied by 3 3/4 is 15 over 4. So we can cancel 5 and 15, so we'll get 3 over here. So this is 33 divided by 4. So this is 8.25 because this will give us 8 1/4. Question 4. 990 plus 3 in parentheses divided by 1.5. So it's important that we first solve what is inside the parentheses. So we get 993 and that's divided by 1.5. So we can rewrite this as 9930 divided by 15. So if we divide this number by 15, we get 662. So D is the correct answer. Question 5. 24 is 15% of what number? So 24 is equal to 15% of X. So that's the question. So in other words, if we cross multiply, we get 15x is equal to 2400. Divide both sides by 15, and then 15 times 1 is 15, and then we get 6 as a remainder, so 160 is the answer. So 15% of 160 is 24. B is the correct answer. Question 6. A operator B is equal to 3 times A square minus B. Then find the value of 4 operator minus 2. So clearly over here A is equal to 4 and B is equal to minus 2. So 3 times A square will be 3 times 4 square minus B, and B is minus 2, so we write B like this in parentheses. So 3 times 4 square is 16, so 3 times 16 is 48, and then minus of minus 2 becomes plus 2, so the answer is 50. So we select A as the answer. Question 7. Solve for n. 3n minus 7 divided by minus 4 is equal to minus 17. So think of this as minus 17 over 1, and then we simply cross multiply. So 3n minus 7 times 1 is nothing but 3n minus 7 equal to minus 4 times minus 17. So this is minus times minus, that becomes plus, and 4 times 17 is 68. So we add 7 on both sides and we get 3n equal to 75. So we added 7 over here. So this 7 cancels with this minus 7. So 3n is equal to 75. So n is equal to 25. Question 8. 23,453,661 millimeters rounded to the nearest meter would be how many meters? To convert millimeters to meters, we divide the number by 1000. So when we divide this number by 1000, we get 23453.661. But when we round it to the nearest meter, we can write the answer as 23454. And the reason for this is the number immediately after the decimal is more than 5. So we can see that the number is 6 over here. So we can increase the number to the left of the decimal by 1. So the answer is 23454. Question 9. What is the probability of rolling a pair of dice and getting a sum of 8 on the faces facing up? So how can we get a sum of 8 when we roll a pair of dice? There are several ways how that can happen. If we have 2 on the first dice and 6 on the second dice, or we can have 6 on the first dice and 2 on the second dice, or we can have 3 on the first dice and 5 on the second dice, or 5 on the first and 3 on the second, or we can have 4 on the first and 4 on the second dice. So there are 5 ways how we can get a total of 8. So the probability of getting 2 on the first dice is 1 over 6, and the probability of getting 6 on the second dice is also 1 over 6. So the probability of getting 2 on the first and 6 on the second is the product of 1/6 and 1/6, which will give us 1 over 36. Similarly, for the remaining pairs 6, 2, 3, 5, 5, 3, and 4, 4, the probabilities are also 1 over 36. So the total probability of getting a sum of 8 when we roll a pair of dice will be 5 times 1 over 36, which will give us 5 over 36. So the answer is C. Question 10. A dash cone is a cone whose apex is not aligned above the center of the base. So it is definitely not a right cone. It is not a frustum. It's not circular, it's not leaning. The answer is oblique. B. Question 11. In which quadrant or on which axis is the point xy located in or on if x is negative and y is negative? So on the xy coordinate system, so this is y, this is x. So x is positive over here and y is positive over here in the first quadrant. In the second quadrant, we have y positive and x is negative. So negative, positive. So x is negative, y is positive. Over here we have both positive, x and y. In the third quadrant, x is negative and y is also negative. So I'll write minus, minus. In the fourth quadrant, we have x which is positive and y is negative. So the question is, in which quadrant both x and y are negative? So clearly that quadrant is quadrant third. So we'll select D as the answer. Question 12. the complement of 43-degree angle has a measure of how many degrees? So that means 43 plus x is equal to 90 degrees. So we have to solve for x. So clearly x will be equal to, if you subtract 43 from 90, you will get 47 degrees. So we'll select A as the answer. Question 13. 4 factorial plus 3 factorial minus 2 factorial minus 1 factorial is equal to how much? So 4 factorial is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is equal to 24. And 3 factorial is equal to 3 times 2, which is equal to 6. 2 factorial is simply 2, and 1 factorial is 1. So 24 plus 6, which is 30. 30 minus 2 factorial is 2. So 30 minus 2 will be 28, and 28 minus 1 is 27. So we select C as the right answer. Question 14. A regular septagon has how many degrees? So a septagon has 7 sides. So the formula for calculating the total degrees in any polygon is n minus 2 times 180 degrees. So in this case n is 7, so we do 7 minus 2 times 180 degrees. So 7 minus 2 is 5. 5 times 180 is 900 degrees. So we select C as the answer.